So I was talking without the push to talk. Nice. So I'm going to be working on this music production right here, and it's a song that me and my bandmate have been working on for quite a while. I got some pointers yesterday from a good friend as well. I just want to make this one more up to the times of Psytrance is today. So basically it's the arrangement that needs to change the most, but some production things as well. As per usual, we're always chasing for a better, whatever, kick drum, bass sound, whatnot. So I'm going to be working on this, and hopefully somebody's going to find this interesting. Let's go. Okay, so basically the most important thing is going to be this, that the melody not playing with all of the drums and all of the beat and everything. So it does happen in the breakdown, which I actually want to make longer. So show the melody off for a longer time, and then just when it drops, exclude it. That's the point. So let's see what I can do to that effect. Of course, I want to find a better sound for the bass, like as always, trying to compare a couple. And I have this patch here that contains two silents, so one of them playing the top harmonics, and just one silent playing the first fundamental. So I've tried to exclude from the silent up right here. I tried to exclude the first harmonic by playing an inverse sine wave to this sawtooth, same as in the part B, and I'm trying to make this bass kind of stereo. So the top part of the bass is actually going to be stereo by moving the phase of the left or the right, oscillators. So what I have in the part A is a sawtooth with a sine wave playing the opposite to the fundamental of this, and then I also have in the part B, I have a sawtooth with a sine wave playing the fundamental, but the opposite phase, so removing it practically. And then here I have another silent that just plays the first harmonic, and that's it. Basically plays a sine wave right here, plays a sine wave and just fills up that first harmonic that's been removed. So I don't want that to be stereo, but I want the top part to be stereo. Just sounds nice, and why not? When mixing down to mono, it's still compatible, still sounds fine. It's just more interesting, more impactful like this. So instead of just making a layer on top of that bass that makes it stereo, my bass is actually stereo. Let's listen to only the kick and the bass. So basically this macro I have right here is connected to both the phase of the oscillator B1 and B2. That's the sawtooth and its counterpart, the sine wave that removes its first harmonic. So they both move at the same time, and as such, I get the removal. Did initially. So without push to talk, don't talk. Basically what I did right here is I made the phase of the other oscillator skewed 180 degrees, but I could have just used the inverse button right here. Stupid. Anyways, now it's already done. The macro is already set, so what I'm doing here is I'm moving both of those together. So now the question is this base better or the one I made in pigments? So basically I'm still working on this one, and I wanted to just use this sample and see what I can get out of that on top of the saw. So let's see that. That's a lot of sub. Now just the bass. Okay, so that's a lot of sub. Okay. Let's try to make this smaller. So this is what I'm getting from the sample. Basically, I'm high passing it right here. Okay. Okay, that's nice. So maybe I can actually assign the keyboard the height of the note to affect this filter right here. Push it up. This is kind of... So I wanted to have this affect the key, but only positive. And honestly, it's better because I need to read the manual for this better, because I still don't know how to do this unipolar kind of mapping. So let's see. I'll deal with that. Okay, so this is just a sample, and now on top of that, we have this oscillator too. So the kick and the bass together, because just like this, the bass doesn't mean squat. And actually, the thing that I mind the most in this part is that I have this transpose going on, which is something I might need or might not even need, because I want to remove the melody from this part of the song. So maybe I can even escape that. So let's hear the song from a bit earlier.
Often referred to as dark magicians, exerting their influence for personal gain and control. Despite its potential for positive transformation, magic is often wielded to manipulate and dominate.
Something wrong with some of the pitch bends here, so it's not basically in tune. So I need to figure out why this is happening, why the pitch bend is off. Let's see. It's finding the pitch bend, the MIDI controls. Is it touched? It's not touched. Why is it bad then? So they're both playing the same note, but something's off. So now I have to figure out what's off. I don't know, this is probably not that interesting, but I do have to. Or I can just mute that one. Problem solved. Okay, so the melody is not gonna be there. I'm gonna make quite a different arrangement here, trying to introduce more of this melody basically throughout the breakdown. So I'm gonna try to do that now, actually. Try to make a different arrangement and just duplicate this and, even skip this part where the melody just plays its first, just the beginning where it doesn't transpose up and down. So just try to utilize more of this melody and showcase it basically. I think this is completely unnecessary, like so many layers. Let's see if we can do without these. Yeah, without too many layers and complication for no reason. I'm gonna stop this as well. Okay, so this part goes into that part. We still have the kick drum, so I'm going to use the bass that has the transpose, this part right here, and then somehow wean it off using a filter and continue just into a melody and try to even like have it play even longer. So showcase it, as I said. Okay, yep, so this part that starts going crazy starts with the uplifting. I actually want to move that for later, so I want to keep that for after. Let's see if I can play this melody one more iteration. I'm just going to add some silence. And then just repeat all of this and do a different automation, I think. We'll slowly filter this out. Yeah, talking again without the without push to talk. So trying to remove some of the things that are unnecessary. Like I feel like they're unnecessary in this part of the song. There's so much stuff happening all around, and I don't think it's really needed. Yeah, all of these accidental kind of synths that supposed to be ear candy, but don't really need them right here. Like we really don't. That's great. I think I want this to play even longer. If I'm going to stop it when the drop comes, I need this to happen even longer. So develop and develop and develop. Maybe even longer than just one more time. Let's see. Actually, I need that empty space after this part that I've actually made already. I could just draw this out as like loops in case I want to change something in the melody, but I really don't. Like, this is already made and done, and I don't need to change the melody at all. What I do want to do is I want to make kind of a bass pad layer underneath, which is not really going to play the bass, but kind of playing the root note of this whole harmony, just to like add more to it at some point, not all the time, of course. Actually, no transposition needed right here, so I can just, I don't need the harmony, I can just leave this to play out the root note. Maybe even remove the drums. Okay, I think that's cool. Of course, it can always be better, and the way this stops and the break we have could be better. Could have a stop here with some uh, pause where we can add some vocals, like something like that. So add that into kind of a pause before we reintroduce the kick in the bass. No transpose, need to see how these drums are going to kick in, like what kind of pace, but I'm going to restrain myself from, working on the drop. Actually, I just want to work on this breakdown, like the transition. Basically, I think it's the most important thing, like having a really good transition. And then again, it's going to be another transition here into the drums and so on and so forth. So actually, I feel that like that flat part that we had before the melody starts, showing all of its harmonies. I think that flat part could actually play here. I think that would be. Okay, so I have a new MIDI track. Let's try to get this whole harmony of the bass down there and just create a pad that's gonna play the root note. Just follow this melody and maybe even complicate that as we did with the pad that's playing. So let's see what can be done there to make it more interesting for this duration of the breakdown. Make it more epic. So I'm gonna try some Serum 2 stuff. Let's see. Okay, maybe something like this is actually gonna be fine. Just need to find the right octave for it. I feel like this release is super long and not really needed for what I want. Kind of could be like quite instantaneous. Something more concrete. Actually, I do like this. I feel like maybe it's the reverb that mushes all those tails together. Maybe it's too low in octave. Let's see. Just saw the comment from Victor Nova. I'm sorry, man. I'm just working and I didn't notice this sooner. Thanks. It's like it doesn't change the note. What's happening? Yeah, it does mush on top of each other. Like, I think it's the delay and the reverb. Let's try without it and just like deal with it after the fact. Okay, definitely need to make this transition even better, but I feel like this is going to be fine for the melody. Just need to find a way to make it more epic. I feel like all of these layers, just being open, being there is not really making it more epic. Just in the way. So I need to control these filters better. I need to introduce this slowly, like making it swell up better. I think it just is introduced here to its full power like too fast. Hi versus Vibes. Welcome. Okay, I feel that is good, but this I think we have an export of the song somewhere here that just it's too much. It has too much low frequencies, and then when you get into the actual drop, it doesn't sound as impactful, and it needs to. So I need to see which one of these is actually doing that. Okay, so this vocal that actually plays out right here, I want that vocal to happen on the drop, and I'm gonna use, instead of that vocal, I'm gonna use the one from the beginning, the tribal one. So you want to start something like this. Yeah, yeah, that screams, to me at least, that seems like, oh, nice. So I want to use that one in the beginning right here. Which one is it? It's the yellow thing. Okay. Right there. Okay, that's kind of the idea. Still not good. I think it just plays on top of the other stuff. I need it to be more in a silence, kind of. And I think there are tails from the stuff that plays before that that I need to actually just mute completely, completely stop. Yep, exactly. So all of these actually do have automation already. I'm gonna expand on these and just make sure that I mute them right there. So that was not enough. The reverb is not all here. I have to individually find the channels to do it. The longer the song takes in production, the more stuff happens and the more stuff you have to actually correct. But that's just a creative process, I guess. Especially when it's two people in a band and we do work separately a lot of the times, me and my bandmate. So he does a lot of stuff, I do a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of things that get missed by me that he did or by him that I did, you know, redone, deleted, stuff like that. But this part where you have so many channels where a lot of them actually don't even play anything because at some point him or I decided to just take it off. It doesn't really do anything specific here. It's really important to try and get all the things that actually play in the song to actually mean something so that each one of those elements is there because it's supposed to be. I don't know, like Prodigy. Listen to Lime Holland's music and you know, you just get that kind of example. So everything that's actually playing is supposed to be there. So it lies in one of these main synths. From what I can see, that's like the first thing I noticed. So I need to make this one stop as well. That's way better. So now that this is actually fine, I can start to introduce these slowly into the fold. I think these need to start gradually, basically. That's exactly what I think. Doesn't mean that it's actually going to be right and that it's going to be the best kind of solution. Let's see. Something happens, something else happens. Push the talk. So basically, a lot of the things that are now missing are missing. So I have to do, or me and my bandmate, we have to do something else in this drop that happens, but that's something that happens on another day. Right now, I was really keen on doing this kind of change to see how this is going to sound and what this is going to do for the song. This kind of arrangement where we don't play this melody when the beat drops, but basically in the breakdown. And I think that it could even play longer in the breakdown, making it more interesting, introducing more uplifting kind of cooking kind of effect, more tension building and creating that kind of a vibe in this breakdown, which is basically what it's for, creating that tension and rising kind of build up. And then this drop that drops is going to be even more impactful, which I don't need to do nothing with. I don't need to change it. What I need to change is what happens before it. Yes, this is definitely too short. In order to showcase this melody, this is not enough time. So what I need to do, I feel like this introduction of the melody needs to be slower with only one of the synths, and then the layer that is more angry, the more distal layer, it can happen after, like when I actually need something new to happen during that period. So I think I'm going to extend that even further, but I think I'm going to do that on another day because I want to make sure that I'm being as objective as possible. And in the meanwhile, I'll work on other stuff and do mastering and work on actually doing some other jobs. But I like the change. Basically, this, I think it's pivotal not having the melody play where it used to play. And we play this track in parties already. And it does work, but it's old school. It's quite old school as we are old school. So we need to get our kicks together and just make this kind of sound more up to date with what people like, and not just what people like I actually would like it to be better. I feel like it's not enough. And yeah, just want to make that better and have it released as soon as possible. That's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this stream. If you hate my stupid glasses, say something in the comments. If you don't know what I'm talking about half the time, then you can find a course in the description, which is free. It's 40 plus hours long and it's free thanks to 11.org. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.